Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about my favorite and I think most underused plants. I'm going to give you 3 of them so you can be on the lookout for them in your garden centers and in your nurseries. These are tough, they are reliable, they get established quickly, but most importantly, they're beautiful. Okay, number 1. My candidate for one of the most underused categories of blooming shrubs, and that is the category of the abelias. Now, in this bed that we have named Walker's Ridge, well, this is the bed, I guess, that the Southern Living Plant Collection built, and in a coming episode, we'll talk about all of the components, the ingredients that help this bed come together, and hopefully provide you with a diagram. But let's go back and let's talk about the abelias. So this is Radiance abelia. I love its foliage. I love its kind of compact form. I love how reliable it is. It got very, very cold, and even after only being planted last year, all of these beautiful tufts came back without a hitch. So this is Radiance. I love it, but you all know that I love Miss Lemon, Miss Lemon abelia on Lemon Lane. I think it is just, I love the way its branches tend to be a little bit less compact. They arch, they cascade, and they are beautiful not only in the garden and in your flower beds, but also as cut flower material. So as a rhythm and ribbon of this beautiful color, springy look, and a repetition of them up and down Walker's Ridge, I think it's really impactful. You might also want to look at Kaleidoscope abelia that I use on Autumn's Edge. So abelias in general, I think, not maybe the overgrown old-fashioned ones, but some of the new varieties I think are absolutely superior and wonderful candidates for your garden. Well, today's video is sponsored by one of my favorite things, Manukora Honey. You guys know I like to eat it in so many different ways. It is so creamy and smooth and caramely and gut-friendly with all of its prebiotics and antioxidants. But another way that I like to eat it is on the go. So quite often, you know, I'll have it on my oatmeal, or I'll have it on my yogurt or with fruit. But here's another way that I like to enjoy it, and that is these little travel packs that they've got. So I use them as kind of a sweet snackable in the afternoon. I just drop a couple of these packets in my purse, and if I need a quick sweet treat in the afternoon, I eat them straight out of the packet. They're also great if you want kind of a healthy snack if you're on the go. So this morning, Hubs had to have a procedure at the hospital. And so while I was waiting, it was very early in the morning and I was starving. So I just pulled my nuts and one of my little packets of Manukora honey out of my bag, a little bit easier than the big jar. But it was just so wonderful. It was healthy. It was satisfying. It was, you know, a little bit of protein with a little bit of sweet and all of that Manukora goodness. So if you guys want to try it that way, as well as all of the other delicious ways that you can consume the healthy deliciousness of Manukora honey, then just use my special code for 31% off at manukora.com/Linda, and you'll also get $25 off a starter kit, which includes, a bottle of it. You get some of the starter packs, like I've got some of these little individual doses of Manukora deliciousness. You get a wooden spoon and a guidebook. Anyhow, it's just a great deal. So make sure to take advantage of the QR code if you want to see if you love it as much as I do. Now let me show you Kaleidoscope. I've got this on Autumn's Edge, and I think it makes, well, it's just beautiful. Its growth habit is really beautiful. And the other thing that I love about it, the new branching that comes out, well, it tends to be kind of a deep red, which is why I selected it for this profile right here, because I think it looks beautiful with the Obsession nandinas. And again, I love the growth habit. I not only love it, but I've noticed that because it kind of simulates a bird nest, lots of birds also like to hang out in here. So this is Kaleidoscope. I think it's really gorgeous. Wonderful companions for it are Orange Rocket Barberry and really any kind of nandinas, but I especially love it with Obsession nandinas. Okay, here's a quick tip. I plant, as you know, hundreds and hundreds of tulips every year, and most of them are blends, and within each one of those blends, some bloom early, some bloom mid, and some bloom late. Well, here's my tip. When you notice the first ones coming out, like this one, this is part of a rose blend collection, and you can see it's got some kind of apricot color and also some pink. These are the ones that I've noticed are starting to come up first in a couple of different locations. They were my first blooming tulip. I've got one here, and then I've got one up there on the upper terrace. On the upper terrace. And what's the tip? Well, the tip is to note which color's blooming first. That way, if you want to add more or fewer of these, you'll know approximately what time this specific hue will bloom. And I think they're really, really beautiful. So that will also let you kind of choreograph the accompanying cast members. So if I know this is going to be the first tulip that blooms and the color, then the things that are blooming around it or blooming in tandem, I can color coordinate to that specific hue. Well, this is definitely a repeat performance, because if I've said it once, I've said it a million times that I think viburnums are, as a category, one of the most underused plants there are in the landscape, for their durability, for their reliability, but most importantly for their beauty. So this is one of those common Chinese snowball viburnums that Stuart is in love with. You may remember that last spring I was absolutely devastated because it just didn't bloom. Well, this year, it's not only got, I don't know how many flower heads on it that will be blooming in the next couple of weeks, but it bloomed sporadically throughout the growing season last year. I've pruned it up like a small tree, so it makes it look a little bit more statuesque, more impressive, and it's a wonderful, wonderful way to romance the ordinary and to turn something that's kind of meh into something that's really special. When this blooms in its umbrella of white, is going to be fabulous. And I think you'll agree with me that viburnums are one of the most underused category of plants, and there are many, so take a look at all of them. Okay, here's another tip, and this is not one of my recommended much underused plants, though we do find it absolutely everywhere, and that is the common weed Poanua, and it's Poannua. It starts out looking really lovely and really tame and just like pretty spring grass, but over time it puts out these very nefarious seed heads, and this goes everywhere. It's taken hold in this strip of lawn between the sidewalk and the street. So this area, I don't irrigate it. Really, it's only the areas that are closer to my house where I pay that much attention. It really prolifically goes to seed, and I don't want it starting to go to seed up on my rolling terrace and in my garden bed areas. So what should I have done? Well, last year I should have put a pre-emergent on this in the fall to keep it from going to seed to begin with. I don't know why I didn't do it last year, but I will definitely do it this fall, and I'll put a pre-emergent. I may or may not put some kind of post-emergent on it to kill it out, so that the Bermuda grass that's under here will really get established and get going and give me good, even turf once the high temperatures set in. But I don't like the way it looks. I don't want it to get a foothold any more than it already has, so I need to take both some preemptive measures and maybe do something about it this spring. Okay, well, my third most underused category of plants, or plants I will show you shortly, but here's my bonus, and that is just boxwood. You guys know of my love affair with boxwood, and I definitely think boxwood is not nearly as utilized as it should be, and that's partly because people are concerned about things like boxwood blight. So I highly encourage you to check out Better Boxwood. You'll be able to see it in nurseries and garden centers right now, and I'll be talking a lot more about it in a future video when we talk about the care, maintenance, and fertilizing of boxwood. But the last category of plants that I think are underutilized in the landscape and that is any kind of hydrangea paniculata that blooms on new wood. And in that category, I would put the white wedding hydrangeas, Moondance hydrangeas, and Southern Living has some new varieties that they're coming out with. But in general, as a category of plants, these are just wonderful. They give you so much interest. So I've recently just cut off, you can see because they're floating around in the garden, I've recently just deadheaded all of the dead flowers off of the stems. But these provided great winter interest, and I loved the way it looked. They were also beautiful in the fall, and right now the architecture of the branches with the new green buds emerging from the stems themselves, well, I think it's just giving spring interest as well. And then obviously when they are in bloom in late spring, early summer, and into fall, they're just spectacular. And these, particularly white wedding, they can handle so much more sun than you would think. There's other varieties like Annabelle, what's the Limelight. There's a lot of them that can handle more sun, and I encourage you to look at them. Mine, my favorite is white wedding, and when I have this whole swath of them in bloom in white in the summer, when it's already hot out and they're still blooming their heads off, well, I think it's really, really a wondrous effect that you can create in your summer garden. So those are my three categories of, I think, really underused plants in the landscape. Look at all of the abelias, check out all of the broad category of viburnums, and check out all of the broad category of hydrangeas that handle more sun, that bloom on new wood like these white wedding. So there you go. If you are starting a new landscape, a new garden, or adding to the beauty of your already existing landscape, then I highly recommend these categories of plants.